Mema akwaba eba channel we so. Ewo channel we so no ye review websites, games, software, apps, and products. Inti se wo sa nima we bia ubetimi asende amaye through your WhatsApp number. And as your friend so a you be pick you na you know akasa na yadi more details about website and our product, game, software and as app. Na yaka ho asem ache amansan. Bibia you free. Na say what the website and our game, software am I say yanka ho asem a mpacho make sure say we be accept negative parts because yanka only the positive. You better research after a game or software and ask any other channel may say come beyond. You better share the negative and the positive parts. Me my demu chame your frame water. We share microphone P are more knowledge about different parts.
This phone launched in the early part of 2021 and is supposed to be a more affordable version of the Infinix Hot 10. We're going to see my experience with this device over the month I've had it and my thoughts about using it. Essentially what you should look out for before an experience. You get the usual Infinix green as you can see on their quite popular budget devices. Taking the wrap off the Infinix Hot 10 Play and opening the box ushers you into the smartphone itself. As evident here, you get the main highlights or the specs that Infinix wants you to latch on. 6000 mAh battery, which is a lot, 6.82-inch HD plus display, 8 megapixel front-facing camera, Helio G25 processor, and a 13 megapixel dual camera setup on the back. We'll be dissecting all of these in a bit, but let's put the phone aside and look at the rest of the items in the box. You do get the customer service card for situations that you hopefully want to avoid. On the smaller box, you get the SIM ejector tool attached, and when you open it, you see the X-Park e-commerce card, a brand of Infinix, so you can potentially shop more brands. You also get the invite card that looks like a dollar note. I think it's cute, and hey, if anyone can scan the code and use it, feel free to do so. Good branding on here. You also get the screen protector and the plastic case that has these lines, and they look quite nice when you wear them on the phone. I use the phone like this for the most part of the month and more days that I've had it. As far as the other accessories in the box, we get the charging cable, headphones, and a regular Infinix charger. For a 6000 mAh battery device, we could have gotten a high watt charger, but for the price tag, which will come to later in this video, it's a thing to consider. Taking the wrap off the phone, we get the gigantic and tall 6.82-inch display. On the back, we see the pattern on this blue color, which Infinix call the Agent Blue, with the arrow-like patterns that move from a higher and darker shade of the same color. I've not seen this before in any smartphone, but it looks really nice on this one. Speaking of colors, we've got the Agent Blue, the Morandi Green, Obsidian Black, and 7-Degree Purple. Very interesting names, I must say. This phone's back is made of polycarbonate or plastic material, not the most premium, but again ergonomic, maybe even shatterproof unlike glass, but still I say it's quite cool for a budget device. There's nothing at the top of the phone. On the right side is where we get the power button and the volume rockers. On the left side we can see the SIM and micro SD card slot. Lastly, on the bottom is where we get the microphone port, the USB port, and the headphone jack. There is no visible speaker grill, and during my use, after examining, I can hear sound coming out of the back and the front and all over the place. Better still, the device or sound vibrated through the back of the device. Quality was also pretty fair for me. After setting up the Hot 10 Play, we immediately head into XOS 7 based on Android 10. For starters, this 6.82-inch display device is a really long phone. It's a tall phone, taller than, and also especially the battery life, which we'll come back to in a few minutes. The display of the Hot 10 Play is one of the interesting things to see. On the one hand, you've got an IPS LCD 720p display. Resolution is set at 720 by 1640 pixels at 263 ppi or pixel per inch, which is on a medium to lower scale for most devices. With regards to the brightness, it's on the same level with the 440 nits of brightness, and it's got a decent 82.4% screen to body ratio, even slightly higher than the Hot 10. I've watched a lot of videos on this device and I felt it was decent to watch, watching with the device. This is a 720p display, and thanks to YouTube, many smartphones can watch an even higher quality regardless of the display size. Text-filled pages to read. I found it on par with a lot of phones I've used, and when it comes to the color processing, it was a little blue but nothing distracting, and you can fix that with the eye care option at reduced intensity. But then again, it's not bad, it's very good to look at. If you want something better, you can also get to dark mode or dark theme. Overall, the display usage as well as typing experience was good for me. After a while of use, again, it's plastic, and if it comes in contact with sand or coarse/rough surfaces, it will definitely get little scratches here and there. I put it in my bag a lot, I put it in my pouch a lot, and the scratches are present on the case, but not on the phone, as I don't like to use my phones without a case. The phone is decently slim and weighted in the hand. It fell once, but nothing happened to it at all, at least with the case on it. Always use a case, guys. The front is made of glass and the back is made of plastic, as I mentioned, same as the frame. The frame is also made of plastic, so you know that this is a somewhat fairly rugged device. If it falls, you're pretty much okay. Overall, I had no issues with the build quality, and for a price of less than $120, it's not really a top concern for me, but it's not at all badly built. I'd like to say my day-to-day use with the Hot 10 Play was splendid for the price, but I also didn't like that there were a lot of ads on this device. I think this is the most ads I've gotten on an Infinix phone, and it just randomly pops up here and there when I'm using the device during the day. But it's easy to give Infinix some backlash, when it comes to this, but there are fan favorites like Xiaomi that do this and get away with it. It still doesn't make it cool though, but hey, money must be made. For this device specifically, there is no way to disable ads in the settings. You can pretty much uninstall a lot of the bloatware or pre-installed apps on this device. This should solve a major part of the problem with unwanted ads or unwanted notifications. Also, since I've been using this phone, I've only gotten the system updates once or twice, I think, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's still Android 10, however, so there's that. So the software remains Android 10 based on or skinned by XOS Dolphin 7.0.0. You've got a small 2GB RAM and 32GB storage, which is expandable. Battery on here is 6000 milliamp hours, and processing power is left at 2 GHz in that octa-core MediaTek G25 system, a gaming-centric processor. Let's see how it performs. Infinix says that the Hot 10 Play has 55.7 days of standby power, which seems like something that I can check out. 155 hours of music playback, 53 hours of calling, and 13.8 hours of gaming. Of course, I use my phone for the most of these, but I didn't use it for all of that duration. When it comes to my Call of Duty sessions, first off, in terms of graphics, Call of Duty doesn't go past the first level of graphics, and the frame rates are high. There are, I believe, 4 or 5 levels of graphics, and for a 5, you're looking at phones like the Samsung S21 Ultra. I did a 1 hour long gameplay set, and my battery went from 38% to 33% in 30 minutes, and of course, after 1 hour, it went all the way down to 19%. After 1 hour of gameplay. But for the device to lose almost 20% of battery life in 1 hour of gameplay, if we do the math, it should take slightly over 5 hours of gameplay to kill the battery from 100% instead of 13.8 hours as Infinix claims. However, keep in mind that the Call of Duty is a 3D, very graphically intense game. Unlike Altos Odyssey, which is my second favorite game, that will take way less battery. Of course, it's a big 6000 milliamp hour battery capable of 10-watt charging, and then again, it's a big battery and charging won't be super fast because that's a lot to fill up with a 10-watt charger. You've got the usual face unlock and fingerprint reader, and it's not an on-screen fingerprint reader but rather a physical one on the back. It vibrates when you tap it and it's faster than face unlock. Face unlock was also just fine. Now when it comes to the cameras, the Hot 10 Play shares a similar 8 megapixel camera from the regular Hot 10, which is the main device in this lineup. But it differs from that because here we have an LED flash, which should help with taking selfies in the dark, or serves as an indicator when you're charging this device. This front camera also tops at 1080p for video, so it's just standard HD, or what Infinix calls HD+. On the back, there's quite a distinction from the Hot 10. We've got only a main 13 megapixel camera at f1.8 aperture and what looks like a 2 megapixel or VGA camera. However, it's an accompanying camera for portrait mode or bokeh mode to aid the main 13 megapixel camera. I know this because I blocked it when I tried to take a portrait or bokeh shot and it detected that I was covering the lens, so that's your value. The rest of the circles are kind of a clever disguise for the quad flash and the AI inscription to make it look like 4 or 3 cameras.